You're watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. A chilly Thursday night in Abilene, Texas, but one of the hottest mid-major matchups is inside the Teague Center. The SFA Lumberjacks and the ACU Wildcats. Good evening, everybody. Welcome courtside. Zach Carlisle along with Cloy Oslin, Joseph Chapa coming up as well. Well, what a night this should be. ACU's won 11 straight. Meanwhile, SFA hasn't played in 19 days. How about that matchup going on tonight?
Haven't played in 19 days. Might as well come in with a rivalry game. Last time they played, they held Kansas to a few points. Let's see what they can do today.
Yeah, SFA, due to COVID-19 protocols, playing for the first time since late December. Here's the matchup that we're looking at individually. It's inside. Gavin Kinsmill for SFA, Cameron Steele for ACU.
Gavin Kinsmill, great player on both sides of the ball, rebound machine, but also a guy that's lethal inside the paint. Cameron Steele, what can you say about the offensive production from him? Reigning WAC Player of the Week, great offensive presence for ACU.
Yeah, those two are going to see a lot of each other. These two teams know each other very well. Former rivals in the Southland, now in the WAC. For more on the matchup, we say hello to the third member of our team, Joseph Chapa.
Hey guys, what a great way to start up the new year with the matchup. It includes two rival teams that have dominated their former Southland Conference with multiple March Madness appearances and level of competition in this new Western Athletic Conference for both teams. Look for tonight to be the first of many hard-fought battles for these two teams in order to secure a spot in the Vegas tournament. Guys, back to you.
Joseph, thank you very much. Yeah, that's the matchup. These are two teams that have played in 6 of the last 7 NCAA tournaments from the Southland Conference, meeting for the first time as members of the WAC. SFA controls the opening tap. Off we go from Abilene, Texas. Glad to have you with us on ESPN. These Lumberjacks playing for the first time since December the 18th at Kansas. A 3 from Jostle, no good to get things started. You see the starters for the Lumberjacks. Nigel Hawkins, David Catcarees is the point guard. You saw Jostle with the three-pointer. Solomon and then Kinsmill, the highlight in the open for SFA. ACU putting together a starting lineup with Cameron Steele, who, as you mentioned, Coy, is the reigning WAC Player of the Week. Inside, Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, Corian Mason, and Arion Simmons, the forward inside. One note for SFA, you've got Latrell Jostle, number 10, making just his second start of the year after the injury to Roddy Ware against Liberty last month. Into the paint for Kinsmill to get the game's first basket to fall.
Great pass on the inside to Kinsmill. Great shot all around. Going to see a lot of that today, Zach.
And you're going to see two defenses that love to take it from you. That will be the premier defensive assignment tonight. Arion Simmons for 3. Solomon lost it going down, and then Catcarees had it tapped out of bounds as bodies start to fly all over the place. But you got these two defenses that are forcing ridiculous numbers of turnovers right now. This SFA team, through their first 12, was forcing almost 19 per game. ACU, the top team in the country at turning you over at 23.5. So both coaches definitely had talked about taking care of the ball here tonight. Solomon, entry pass, looking for that little high-low for Kinsmill. It's not a huge SFA team. Solomon at 6'7", Kinsmill at 6'7". But ACU not particularly a tall bunch themselves. Solomon taps it free. A turnover and a layup and a 4-0 start for the Lumberjacks.
Great steal there for SFA. Very aggressive play early on from both sides.
Be curious how these offenses attack. Abilene Christian averages about 82.5 points per game. Makai Morris on the baseline gets the first points for the Wildcats.
Good mid-range shot there from Makai, something he's very good at.
SFA averaging about 77 points per game. That's second in the WAC. ACU, the top scoring team in the WAC at points per game at 82.5. 10 to shoot it, the lob for Kinsmill. Nigel Hawkins lines up a three and a foul on the rebound. It's going to go on Reggie Miller of ACU.
Foul called on the Wildcats on number 10, Reggie Miller. That's his first of the game, team foul number 1.
Interested to see how these offenses attack here today, Coy, because that is an offensive foul on SFA. Turns into a turnover, and it's an illegal screen on Jostle. But I'm curious how these offenses are going to go, because these are two defenses that love to get their hands in and take the ball from you.
Well, early on, we've seen very, very aggressive play from both sides. Something you love to see if you're a fan of basketball. Corian takes a mid-range shot there.
Mason, mid-range. A stoppage. I don't know if it was a timeout call. No, it's a foul. Looks like a foul call on Gavin Kinsmill after the basket. So you have Mason with the mid-range. Calling the player control foul after the basket was made. No offensive foul. It's on Kinsmill defensively, but the possession stays with SFA. And that basket does count for Mason. David Cackle-Rees has just grown into an incredible point guard for the Lumberjacks. Ball free from Kinsmill. ACU gets a takeaway.
Looks like Kinsmill just lost the ball there.
Emmanuel Allen off the bench into the game for ACU. Steele had it taken from him. Solomon got a hand on it. Hawkins kicks it. It's Cackle-Rees, a 45% three-point shooter. Morris, he's the trailer. We haven't seen a three go down yet. Teams are 0 for 4 to start tonight. Morris fronts the post of Solomon.
Makai's not the biggest guy, but was able to get a hand in there.
He stands at 6'3". Miller gonna go with the left hand. Well, a defensive-oriented start, as we figured it would be. See, as the offenses kind of feel it out as we get started, and that'll take us to our first timeout. Just 4-4 early on, underway on what should be an incredible night in Abilene, Texas. Back in Abilene, ACU and SFA, take a look at this. It's the longest active winning streaks in the country. Baylor, the defending national champs. It's actually 20 if you count their 6 games a year ago in the tournament. USC picking up a win. They've got 12 in a row, off to a great start. And then there's Abilene Christian, 11 in a row for these Wildcats.
Pretty good company for the Wildcats.
And they've been so good here, too. I mean, they lost their first 2 games of the season, and it's been 11 straight. And this team has really become a dangerous team to play.
They've built a foundation here that has played off very good for them. Very good team here, likes the atmosphere. Brett Tanner talks about that a lot.
Day-Day Hall checking in, number 3 for SFA during that media timeout, and he's got it here against Emmanuel Allen of Abilene Christian. And late shot clock buzzer, no good. Damien Daniels into the ball game, a senior guard running point for the Abilene Christian right now. Into Allen, acrobatic, and he's fouled. Off he goes to the free throw line.
Very aggressive go there for Emmanuel Allen.
Kyle Keller, the 6th-year head coach of SFA. Boy, has he been around the block a time or two. He's at Texas A&M and a team that went to the Sweet 16. He's been an assistant at Kansas and Oklahoma State, Louisiana Tech, and a native of Oklahoma State. He was on that 2004 staff that made it to the Final Four at Oklahoma State. So Allen at the line here for ACU. Emmanuel Allen, a redshirt junior out of Phoenix. Started off at Butler Community College in Kansas before coming to ACU. He's battled injuries in his time with the Wildcats, but as healthy as he has been. And ACU has its first lead. They've scored 5 straight. At their SFA scored the opening 4. It's a corner 3 from Jalen Jackson Posey. It's the game's first triple. And it ended a 3.5-minute scoring drought for SFA.
Well, defense has been a big part of this game early on.
You see it there as that ball is poked free from Cameron Steele again. Stay with the Wildcats. I've been impressed with this SFA defense here. And well, both sides really, but this SFA defense is getting their hand on everything so far.
Only 5.5 minutes into the game, we've seen bodies all over the floor.
A 3 from ACU's Jay-Sean Jackson is no good. Freshman out of San Antonio, Texas, and a foul on SFA's Calvin Solomon, sophomore out of Houston. Plenty of subs for both sides so far. Tobias Cameron, number 11, out there for ACU. And Cameron there on the back door from Jackson to even this thing up at 7.
Great pitch and read there, Tobias Cameron. Damien Daniels, 2 of the veteran presences on this Wildcat team.
Entry pass to Nana Antwi-Bosiako, and that 3 no good from Jackson Posey. Daniels might be the fastest guy on the floor. Not sure how he got a shot up right there, but it's no good. See how much both teams want to try to run. Solomon, oh, the pass went off the leg of Antwi-Bosiako. Allen, no. Oh, and a hard land from Jackson Posey as he goes up for the rebound.
Great to see him up.
It appears to be a foul on Abilene Christian. Tobias Cameron. The rebound, ooh.
Looks like Tobias just got up under him.
Hard land, and Jackson Posey will take a seat. Antwi-Bosiako returns to the bench for SFA as well. Kinsmill back in. And ACU makes a substitution with a 6'11" junior UAT guy, number 34. He will defend Kinsmill here in the post. A lot of individual great one-on-one matchups tonight. Tend to shoot it. Calvin Solomon on the deck. No. Put back from Hall. No. He'll get a third chance and lays it in.
What to talk about great below the rim offense there from SFA. Great defense from the Wildcats too.
Daniels way too high. Jackson thought it was tipped. It's a turnover. Morris and Miller return for ACU. Mason's coming back as well. I'm interested because you're going to have to see a heavy rotation, not only from ACU, who plays a ton of guys, 13 guys a night. SFA has not played game speed in 19 days. They may need some bench and legs to stay fresh as well tonight.
Well, SFA looks like they've come out very early. Great effort from both sides, a lot of energy.
Kekkeries, the 3 does not fall down. Brett Tanner telling us, the ACU head coach, that he thinks what scares him is the fact that SFA is going to come out and play so hard. He thought they'd have to match that. And an offensive foul is coming up on Abilene Christian. It's going on Makai Morris.
Foul called by number 12, Makai Morris. That's his first of the game.
on the dribble as he was taking on the defender. SFA back to work up 2. First conference game for these Lumberjacks. The last time they played, they took number 7 Kansas to the wire and lost 80-72. Not a lot of points so far. 9-7 SFA on top on the road. It's SFA and ACU, and Abilene Christian has a unique tie to this SFA program. For more on that, we send it down to Joseph Chapa.
Well, hey, Zach and Coy, the eyes are not just on the ACU players to put up a good fight against SFA, but they're also on head coach Brett Tanner, who served as a top assistant for SFA from 2006 all the way to 2013. Tanner's current head assistant coach, Antonio Bostic, also played under Tanner's staff for 3 seasons where he achieved multiple all-conference player honors. Their mindsets heading into tonight's game is simply, it's just another game against a familiar, great opponent. Let's see how their game plan unfolds tonight. Guys, back to you.
And thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah, unique connection there. You got, I talked to Coach Tanner about that this week, and he said, you know, I used to coach there. There's not really any guys there that I'm, was with there anymore. It's been long enough, and so it doesn't, motivate me quite as much. Coach Bostic, a graduate of SFA as well. Knotted up at 9 after UOT Guy tied this thing up. Ball out of bounds. It's off of the Lumberjacks. It goes off of Jostle. It's going to go back to ACU.
Close and personal action there with Corian Mason over here.
Well, we're seeing the turnovers. That's what we thought we would see. Those numbers, we talked about it earlier. And already 12 of them tonight. It's kind of right on cue. Cameron Steele. That is the first shot attempt for a guy who had basically 2 career games against Utah Valley and Dixie State. ACU picked up a 2-0 start to WAC play on the road last week. Steele, the reigning WAC player of the week. Kinsmill one-on-one against Steele. Then to shoot it. Cackleries lost it, got it back, and hits a 3.
Good 3-ball. Cackleries, good 3 shooter. He is all over this court, Zach. If you're watching him, he is full speed every time they're on offense, but here he is on defense guarding Miller.
Foul out past the 3-point line. Mason was fouled by Solomon. Cackleries takes a seat, as does Solomon. Hawkins and Jackson Posey return to the lineup for SFA. And they're also going to sub in the 6'10" sophomore Jonathan Aku. The matchup against ACU's Arion Simmons. Simmons has it. Tapped away from Steele. There has not been a clean look for Cameron Steele really so far when they try to get it to him in the post.
Steele's somebody who's very efficient offensively. Obviously, you just talked about his games in Utah against Dixie State, Utah Valley, but they've got to start getting looks from a lot of these good shooters.
Simmons would tend to shoot it. Steele's open. He's 0 for 2. Steele score. Oh, that's a travel. It's on Jackson Posey. Walked with it. For the clean rebound. But again, to your point about Steele, 17 points at Utah Valley and 23 points, a career high against Dixie State. That time an unforced turnover. ACU a fresh 20. Mason baseline, no good.
Corian went mid-range there, did not get the look he wanted. It's hard to make those shots when you've got Stephen F. Austin players in your face the whole time.
Kinsmill went up like a tight end to go grab it, but then came down to the floor, and that is a travel.
Wildcats, they've done a great job of keeping Kinsmore quiet so far during this game.
I don't know if he ever really caught that ball for the travel to be enforced. Jostle got a hand on it. Nothing's clean tonight. This is crazy.
This is just old school rough basketball, Zach.
We've seen 14 turnovers already, halfway through this first half. Simmons takes on Kinsmill, charge. Offensive foul. Goes down as turnover number 15 we've seen tonight.
Great job by Kinsmill taking the charge there for the team. Arion, not the ideal person to take a charge from, but
Kinsmill slid across and makes the charge. Hawkins for SFA, and now the top three-point shooter for these Lumberjacks. It's Latrell Jostle. He's got another one.
Jostle's a guy, if you give him the opportunity, he'll break one wide open for you. 28 points versus UL Monroe this year.
Mason to answer with a three, no good. Jostle wants to run. Hawkins is open. Back-to-back triples for SFA. Timeout, ACU. Here come the Lumberjacks. A 9-0 run. How about this for SFA? They are on fire right now.
They've opened it up to a 9-point lead. They've held ACU for 2.5 minutes on no points.
And the back-to-back threes, big time for SFA.
It's just things that people who keep up with ACU may not be used to seeing. These open shots for the other team. They've been taking full advantage of them.
So SFA has turned it over 9 times. ACU's turned it over 6, but 7 points off of those turnovers for the Lumberjacks. And they've done it on both ends of the floor, but yeah, the back-to-back triples. Jostle and Hawkins.
And I mean, Jostle's a name you're seeing all over these sheets right now. He is someone who has found a momentum in this game.
Two teams that know each other so well. Played a lot of classics in the Southland Conference. Both moving over together with Sam Houston and Lamar from the Southland to the WAC. ACU's won 3 out of the last 4 matchups. They swept SFA a year ago, and SFA was postseason ineligible, so they did not meet in the postseason tournament. 5 to shoot it. It's Simmons, no good. Kinsmill with a rebound.
Just a short shot there from Arion Simmons. Found his way to the paint, couldn't get it.
Aku looking for Kinsmill. That high-low action, staple of this offense.
Zach, this ball is moving all over the court every time both teams have it.
Hawkins looking. Miller got back to tap it free. Just 5 to shoot for SFA. Emmanuel Allen checking in for ACU. Brett Taylor watching on, a defensive-oriented coach. This all comes down to our defense creating everything else for us.
If you're Coach Brett Tanner, you got to be thinking early on about how you're using your substitutes here. I mean, this game's been full speed since the tip-off.
Kinsmill launches one and he banks home a 3. Are they going to look at it? They're going to talk about it at the shot clock buzzer. If it goes and if this counts, it's the first 3 of the season for Kinsmill. He was just 0 for 3 coming in.
That looked like a guy just using his momentum to take a shot.
See if we get a look at if he got it off in time. Hard to tell there. Well, we're going to find out when we come back. If it stands, it'll put SFA up by 12. Right now, they lead by 9. After they review it, that 3 does count for Kinsmill. At the shot clock buzzer, take a look at this. It was after Cackeries gave it up. Did it get off in time? They say it did. He banks it in, and it's the first 3 of Gavin Kinsmill's season.
Zach, you want to hear something even better? That is his first attempted 3 since December 1st.
How about that? Daniels hits the deck. He's fouled by Cackeries. But right now, a current 12-0 run for SFA. They are on a roll offensively and defensively right now.
Well, I mean, their defense, we knew it was going to be great, but their offense has come out with a different fire under them, full speed the whole way, all over this court.
Backdoor cut, Miller, and he tried to get it to Steele, and it's out of bounds. Yeah, to your point about the offense, SFA shooting 50% from the floor, and they've hit 5 threes, 5 out of 10 to start the night.
Entering the game for the Wildcats, Corey Mason.
Mason replaces Miller for Abilene Christian. (21-9). 9 points in 12 minutes and 20 seconds for ACU.
SFA's made 4 of their last 4 shots.
Foul off the ball. It's going against SFA. And it's going on Jonathan Anko, sophomore out of Nigeria, the first-year Lumberjack. Started his career at Texas A&M, played 48 games there with the Aggies, and you see him knock down Allen.
A lot of transfers on this SFA roster. They play really well together, top-tier talent.
Daniels off the glass, a tough shot that does not fall. A 4+ minute scoring drought for ACU. Kinsmill backside, out of bounds.
Out of bounds off the Lumberjacks.
Turnover number 11 on SFA.
Entering the game for SFA, number 3.
We are well on our way to these season averages.
For the Wildcats,
Get some season averages, some season highs, maybe even.
and number 15, Faraha Kadodadu.
The question of if Stephen F. Austin SFA was going to be ready for this game or not has been answered. They were ready.
Backside Morris. Daniels, this feels like a big shot. It's not fallen. Daniels this season for ACU, he is just 5 of 28. Guess who is red hot though? Nigel Hawkins has a couple of threes. A 15-0 run for the Lumberjacks. Morris, that one finally ends. Nearly a 5-minute scoring drought for ACU.
It needed to happen eventually. Morris took kind of a weird stutter step half shot there, got it off and in. Try to break open the floodgates for the Wildcats maybe.
Day Hall, long 2, buried.
Great response from SFA.
A freshman out of Sulphur Springs, Texas. He enrolled at East Tennessee State last January. Mason, oh, he had it blocked. He went in for the slam. Denied wonderfully. Entry pass to Hall, who finishes.
Great finish there inside the paint. They've been killing ACU on the inside the whole game.
Allen the floater. 26% shooting for Abilene Christian. Then the steal. Allen lines up a 3. Well off. Morris got the putback.
Mackay gets it again. The shots just aren't falling for ACU.
It felt like even that putback, all of that sequence just to get that basket, it feels like it's really hard right now to score if you're Abilene Christian.
You saw Emmanuel Allen just standing beyond the arc. He looked like he took a look back, try to see if someone was there. Wide open shot.
Timeout called by SFA with a 15-point lead.
19-4 run.
And just the difference, SFA's made their last 7. ACU's made just 2 of its last 12 shots. I mean, I've just really been impressed by what SFA's done, in particular on the defensive side.
What's impressing me, Zach, is the momentum. They're full speed on both sides. They haven't stopped since the ball was tipped. They don't look winded at all. They're ready to go.
Yeah, it kind of flips from the point I was talking about earlier of like, all right, you haven't played in a while, not a lot of game speed. You may need a bunch of guys to stay out there to, to rotate. But it just looks like they've rested for that long a period of time, and they look as fresh as they've ever could have been.
You gotta look at that team and question, what were they doing to prepare themselves for this game? If they're out here playing like this, definitely some hard work was put in back home in Nacogdoches.
Making the trip from East Texas, 5 hours away. Straight east of Waco, coming all the way up to Abilene. David Cackleries. Oh, he had it stolen. Oh, Daniels got his hand in there. Cameron a loose ball. Morris at the other end. He's going to shoot 2.
Well, that steal really made ACU's bench come alive there. Trying to get some momentum to the guys on the court.
This will just be the 3rd and 4th free throws of the game. Emmanuel Allen went 1 out of 2 earlier. That's been it so far. So here's Morris. The senior out of Philadelphia. 3rd-year Wildcat. 2 years ago, Morris was lost for the season with medical issue with his intestines. Last year played all 29 games, and he's played them all this year as well. Came in with that group of Mason, Morris, and Miller. For ACU, he misses here. It's a 28-14 first half so far. It's Hawkins. He's made 2 already that time. A chance to run. Morris one-on-one. He's got it blocked, Hawkins. Got back defensively, Nigel Hawkins.
Like I said earlier, full speed back up and down the court.
Diego Willis checks in for SFA. How about this block? Welcome to the show. Right in front of our baseline camera. Right on it, I should say. Morris, he's blocked. Jackson Posey. Another deny for SFA.
You've really got to be wondering what is going on inside the heads of the Wildcats right now.
Block number 4 for these Lumberjacks. Cameron, oh, he nearly walked with it. Simmons. ACU is 0 for 9 from the 3-point line.
ACU 1 for 7 in their last shots. Polar opposite for SFA. They're 7 for 8.
And to shoot it. Hall kicks it. It's a 3 from Jackson Posey.
Jackson Posey for 3.
The Lumberjacks are laying the wood right now on the road in Abilene, Texas. They lead it by 17 over ACU. Tuesdays on ESPN Plus, get in-depth coverage of all things Abilene Christian men's basketball. It's the Brett Tanner Show, presented by ACUTV, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. Well, right now, Brett Tanner's Wildcats are having a hard time figuring some things out. shooting just 24% and trailing by 17 to SFA.
SFA's been full speed the whole game. 20 rebounds early on for them. Season average 35 for them. ACU's got to find something. They're not getting the shots. They're leaving a lot of open shots for SFA, something not normal Brett Tanner's defense.
What's interesting to think about these last couple of games now, go back to the Dixie State game, as Daniels is at the line for 1-1 for Abilene Christian. It's a team that beat Dixie State 64-50 and only shot 36% in that game in the win. And tonight it's been much more of the same and even less in terms of shooting percentage. Really having a hard time finding their rhythm offensively. Daniels hits both to get it to 15, and now some full court pressure from the Wildcats. Nearly resulted in a takeaway. Diego Willis, number 25 in black for SFA into the game. Off the hands of Simmons, out of bounds, 10 to shoot it for the Lumberjacks.
Simmons had that ball in his eyes the moment it left his hands. Could not come up with it though.
Morris checks in for ACU for Daniels.
Touched on this a little bit earlier, but you've got to think about who you're sending in and out in a game like this where it's full speed the whole way. And
Willis off the inbound.
you bring back in Makai Morris, who's your leading scorer right now, just trying to get some points on the board going into halftime.
ACU searching for answers at this end of the floor. Simmons underneath. Miller will. Ooh, it almost rolled out, but he got it to knock it down for the layup.
It wanted to go out, but gravity wasn't going to let it.
Simmons guarding Kinsmill now. 5 points for Gavin Kinsmill in this first half, and he's fouled. And he ends up on the floor again. You'll see plenty of that. Simmons with the foul for ACU. 2:13 till the break. And a reminder that coming up, the ESPN Halftime Report, we'll talk with new WAC Commissioner Brian Thornton. He'll join us courtside. We have an ACU TV feature on Wildcat redshirt senior Tobias Cameron. We break down the first half with highlights and analysis, all coming up on the ESPN Halftime Report. Jumper no good. Abilene Christian down 15 with the ball here.
Kakelry's 1 for 4 now. Somebody's pretty good from range. Couldn't get the mid-range shot off there. Makai went for a layup there.
Willis hit a mid-range jumper a couple of possessions ago. His 3 no good. Diego Willis, senior out of Mexico. 90 seconds in the half. Cameron ball, he is denied. Solomon, what a play. And now a blocking foul at this end, and free throws are coming. Calvin Solomon, are you kidding?
That block ends was 4 bodies on the floor down there on Stephen F. Austin's. And Calvin Solomon, where was that block coming from?
That's insane. Watch this. And then he almost did it at the other end to try to finish it off, and he's going to shoot 2. That is the 5th block of the half for SFA. Spectacular. Calvin Solomon, a sophomore out of Houston. Now he's a 3rd-year sophomore because of the COVID stuff and the free gear and all of that craziness. Out of Klein Forest High School in Houston. What an incredible sequence right there for number 13. And he will take a seat as Hawkins returns.
Deservedly take a seat after an effort like that.
Ball was tipped, and Into the backcourt it goes. Morris. Well, there's nowhere to go. This SFA defense has been putting on a clinic tonight.
Everywhere that ball goes, a trail of 3 or 4 black jerseys are watching it.
A call to number 2, Jonathan Aku. That's his
Aku with the second personal foul for him, and it's the last 1-and-1 bonus free throws for ACU. Simmons at the line. A scoreless night so far for number 23.
Entering for the Lumberjacks, number 3, Day Hall.
He averaged 15 last week against Utah Valley and Dixie State as well. Simmons, a junior out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Went 8 for 12 versus Utah Valley.
A 21-point night in the win over the Wolverines. Second free throw for Simmons. ACU is 6 out of 8 at the line. The one bright spot offensively, you could say, for the Wildcats so far. A minute to go in the first half. It's been dominated by SFA.
Well, you can't talk about it without talking about the fact that ACU hasn't really had any shots to take.
Ten to shoot it for Kackleries, who's been on the logo most of the possession. Miller defended him well.
Great matchup there with Kackleries and Miller. Very evenly matched.
Won't get a shot off here. That's a shot clock violation on SFA.
Arion Simmons had a hand on it there at the end of that possession. Almost had him a steal, but shot clock goes off.
And now a 2.5 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And I think a sub for SFA, Jalen Jackson Posey. Did he not check in with the scorers table? Now he's out there. ACU can use most of this final 32 seconds.
They should try to slow down the possession here. Going to halftime, hopefully a bit of momentum.
Daniels, no. Rebound for Simmons, no. Cameron, 4 seconds. It's Mason for 3. That's how the half comes to an end.
What a great change around right there, Zach.
For as bad as the half was for ACU, it's a 12-point game as we've reached the end of the first half. Busy halftime coming up. WAC Commissioner Brian Thornton joining us after this. We are back. It is halftime in Abilene, Texas. Boy, this is a good matchup tonight, isn't it? SFA, an impressive first half. 35-23, the defense over the ACU Wildcats here at halftime. As we say welcome courtside, everybody. Glad to have you with us tonight. I'm Zach Carlisle, and we're pleased to be joined by the new WAC Commissioner, Brian Thornton. And Brian, thank you so much for taking some time to join us here at halftime.
Absolutely. I'm really happy to be here, and it was a short drive down from Dallas this afternoon and had an opportunity to get around all the athletic facilities and spend some time with people on campus, and it's been a really good trip so far.
Yeah, and so you got the job in November, and now you're just getting started here with the Western Athletic Conference, and you come to campus today. So what has this been like for you so far with your time here in the WAC?
You know, it's been a whirlwind. Obviously, I started in November, and just trying to get things off the ground early. It's always important to get out to campuses when you can and meet people face to face, because this is a relationship business just like anything else. So right now it's COVID central, and we're trying to just kind of keep things moving forward from a COVID standpoint and making sure we get games played. Yeah,
that's been crazy, has it not? I mean, with all the cancellations and movements and postponements. But you were able to spend some time in the ACU campus in particular. How did that go for you today with your time here on the Abilene Christian campus?
It was really good. I really enjoyed having an opportunity to just get around. I met a couple of the coaches and spent some time with Zach, the new AD, and also the president. And, I think that that ACU is positioned to really continue to grow. Moody Arena, the renovation is going to be fantastic. You know, they're putting themselves in a position to have a tremendous home court advantage down the road.
Well, I tell you what, tonight we're getting a glimpse of two really good defenses playing in the WAC with SFA and ACU. I think this basketball league in particular on the men's side, both sides of men's and women's basketball, this is as good as you can probably ask for in mid-major hoops. The basketball leagues seem to be really, really good.
It's awesome right now. You know, our league is doing a great job, especially from a men's basketball standpoint right now. If you look at CBS Sports right now, we're predicted to have 2 teams in the NCAA tournament, which is awesome. You know, that's one of our goals, to continue to build our basketball brands, both on the men's and women's side, and ultimately be in a position where having 2 bids in the NCAA tournament is not unheard of.
And, you know, they're looking at some of the glimpses of what we're going to see in March at Las Vegas, WAC Vegas, we're calling it, with that tournament presented by Hercules Tires in March. Obviously, that's kind of the goal and what everybody gets excited about. But just the entire basketball season and then culminating it in Las Vegas is going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, Las Vegas is a destination for fans and for teams as well. You know, it's kind of become one of those places that a lot of conference tournaments are taking place in Vegas now, and ours will be there at the Orleans this year. So we're excited about having our team show up there and compete for an opportunity to play in March Madness.
Well, you're into this job now. You're learning more and more about the Western Athletic Conference. What excites you about the future with your position and with the WAC as well?
You know, I think it's a good fit. You know, when I came over to the WAC, you know, I wanted to be a part of the growth. We have a great group of institutions that are on the rise. They're continuing to grow. We're in some really fast-growing areas of the country, in Texas and Utah and Arizona and California. And, you know, our institutions, their best days are ahead of them.
Well, thank you very much for taking some time to sit down here with us courtside. Thanks for being in Abilene, Texas as well. We appreciate the time.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Brian Thornton, the WAC commissioner, joining us here at the break. We'll take a break. When we come back, more halftime coming up on ESPN. It's ACU and SFA from the Teak Center at Abilene, Texas. Back in Abilene, there's the score. SFA in front of ACU on a big night of hoops. It's halftime on ESPN as we say welcome courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Coy Oslin, Joseph Chapa coming up in just a moment as well. But all right, the first half was obviously defensive oriented, and it was really owned by SFA, and it was a lot of fun to watch this Lumberjack defense. 14
turnovers, they're all over the court, they're running everywhere, Zach. Everywhere you look, there's a black jersey on the ball. ACU hasn't been able to get the shots off that they wanted to. That's very clear cut.
On the offensive side for SFA, it's been some unlikely heroes a little bit as well, and it hasn't maybe been Kinsmill, and maybe hasn't been Cackleries, but one that it really has been Nigel Hawkins. He's looked really, really good for SFA.
Hawkins, you know, we talked a lot about the people we expect to see. Wasn't someone we talked about has come out and played very, very well. Number 0 has done a great effort for SFA.
Yeah, Hawkins, he's got, tell you what, he's got 6 points on a couple of big 3-pointers. He's got an assist, a couple of rebounds as well. Really looked good, and he's been a big catalyst for SFA in big moments in the first half.
Shooting 50 from beyond the arc, finding wide open shots and taking them. Lots to get excited about from the game he's had early on. Super consistent for SFA.
Yeah, and then ACU at this end of the floor has struggled the entire night. You see the block from Hawkins, one of 5 blocks in that first half for SFA, and we'll see what the second half will bring us. But it hasn't been the unlikely heroes, and it hasn't been the guys we talked about in the open. For more on that, let's send it down to Joseph Chapa.
Well, hey guys, if there were only 2 players to highlight in tonight's matchup, it would be the star senior forward for SFA, Gavin Kinsmill.
Yeah, you see the numbers. Thank you very much, Joseph. 5 for Kinsmill. He's been a little more active on the defensive side with the rebounds. Steele has barely had any opportunities to get going. We'll wonder if we'll see a little bit more of Cameron Steele here in the second half.
Kinsmill's taken a few less shots than I thought he would have. They found him inside the paint a lot of times, but hasn't been able to get it taken off. ACU's done a very good job defending him in the paint, limiting his shots to 2. But a big 3-pointer from Kinsmill we saw in the first half is definitely the defining play of this game so far. But ACU was able to hold there towards the end of that first half.
23 points in the first half for Abilene Christian. Off we go with half number 2. It's the second lowest first half this year for these Wildcats. Cameron Steele, an early touch and a basket right on cue. You want to see more of number 5.
We just talked about Cameron. He found his way on the inside, pitched one up and in and got it.
A 10-point game, and you know, I think another key moment was that big Corian Mason 3 at the end of the first half for ACU. All of a sudden, it's just a 10-point difference.
Great ball movement on that play, too. Pitched it out to Corian, got the opportunity.
Now a foul here on Reggie Miller. Yeah, it was Mason who hit the 3, kind of after a scramble and an offensive rebound to end the first half, and then the first bucket of the second goes to Steele.
Talked a lot about Hawkins, but we haven't talked about Cackle Reese. He's been playing fantastic for SFA. So
Jostle making just his second start. And now a corner 3 for Jostle is buried. The freshman out of Chicago and the Kansas transfer. Big time shot for SFA. The Lumberjacks have hit 8 3-pointers. ACU has just the 1 triple. Miller, baseline, fadeaway, smooth.
So far early on, it's looked like ACU's been able to match that momentum.
And already more offense, it feels like, right, to start the second half.
Already, definitely, and ACU's just got to find that defensive spurt that we've seen them come out with Brett Tanner's defense. Something they really haven't had all day.
Jostle again, and maybe another chance. SFA shot at 54% from the floor in the first half. Kinsmill in the paint, over Steele for 2.
Clean hook shot, good look there for Kinsmill, high percentage shot.
Kinsmill's got a team high 7 for the Jacks. A team that looks refreshed and ready to go, playing their conference opener. Simmons offline on that 3. Jostle again. He's 2 for 4 now from distance. Morris behind everybody, and I think he traveled with it. Yes, he did.
Great pass, though, to Morris.
Another turnover. You see the numbers, and tonight's numbers are matching that. We've seen 22 turnovers between the teams, 14 for SFA and 8 for ACU. Those are the numbers they force, both top 10 in the country and both top 2 in the WAC.
Whatever Coach Keller's plan was coming into this game, it is surely working here early on in the second half.
Jalen Jackson Posey, oh, he took too much time. He's got the 10-second call. No backcourt pressure at all.
He's just taking his time, was not paying attention.
He just did not get across before that 10-second plateau came up.
ACU with a big opportunity now, getting the ball back.
Down 13. Mason double team. Good help from Kinsmill. Steele way out there. Oh, the shot clock buzzer.
What do you say about Cameron Steele?
5 points for number 5, and the last 3 came from the parking lot. Miller got a steal. Simmons, he's up ahead.
One-hand dish. Big man's feeling it.
Timeout SFA. This place is going crazy. The steal. There's Simmons. 8-point game. Abilene Christian down by 8. They trail by as many as 17. How about the last sequence? You saw this Cameron Steele 3 at the shot clock buzzer. And then the defense makes a play the next possession.
Well, look at this. Reggie Miller goes in there. I mean, just takes that ball. Mackay grabs it, throws it over. Arion Simmons one-hand flush.
All of a sudden, it is an 8-point deficit for Abilene Christian, who trail by as many as 35 to 18. They've now scored 14 of the last 19 points.
Zach, was it me or was this place shaking?
Oh my gosh, that, you know, we do all these ACU games, but we haven't been able to be courtside a lot, you know, over the last year plus with COVID-19 and structuring and mechanics and all of that with the new temporary facility. First time we've really heard the noise here at the Teague Center. Ball out of bounds as Calvin Solomon went on the attack. It will stay with SFA. ACU is 9 of the first 14 of the second half. Abilene Christian, a remarkable home court advantage here. Jalen Jackson Posey for 3, no good.
Just missed his mark there a little bit.
You see the number there, 21-0 in the Teague Center since they've joined this temporary facility at the start of last year.
This place surely has a lot of character.
Corian Mason thought about a 3. Oh, Steele, good play to save it. Miller's bumped. He's bumped by Diego Willis. 40-32. We didn't think this game would go one-sided. It's going to be close. It's SFA at ACU. In an 8-point game, what's on the line tonight for Abilene Christian? Not only this 11-game winning streak, look what they've done at home. They haven't lost, 21-0, just crushing teams in the Teague Center. This is a temporary home for the Wildcats while the Moody Coliseum renovations are happening, and they've made this their absolute home away from home these last 2 seasons.
And this is a team, Zach, that I wouldn't be shocked they'd probably play well in the middle of a desert, and they're kicking it good right now.
Miller had it poked, and it comes up with Daniels somehow, and his layup missed everything. When these turnovers come, they come in bunches for both of these sides. The one team gives it away and the next team gives it away. Lob in, Kinsmill. Oh, he's stripped and a foul. A foul first on Jay Sean Jackson, the help side defender. I didn't know if he got all ball or if he was able to hit it. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looked like he might have got him on the arm.
Just right there, almost perfect, not exactly.
Eight to shoot it. Day Hall lobs it. Kinsmill again. Oh, he's so tough in the paint. The 6'7" senior out of Suriname. Miller, oh, how did he get the angle? And then Steele couldn't get the tap back. Hawkins nifty handle and balance. Kinsmill again. He's got 9. Turns around, scores again. Oh, and it's a foul on Cameron Steele, but it's after the basket was made.
See our 2 impact players going a little head-to-head there in the paint. We'll look back at this.
They call a flop, I believe, on Steele. So we saw a flop warning early on Kinsmill, and then this time on Steele, the flop warning. 12-point ball game, far from over between these two incredible rivals. Tobias Cameron. Tough angle.
Tobias, he's great from everywhere, all over this court.
Redshirt senior. Two-time Southland champion, Tobias Cameron. Kinsmill in the paint. Blocked from behind. It's out of bounds to SFA.
Out of bounds off the Wildcats. It'll stay with SFA.
Jay Sean Jackson again.
No foul trouble tonight at all for either side. Very clean game. David Cackleries. When he can accelerate. Able to convert to go back up a dozen.
Safe to say, ACU, they found that momentum that they needed.
Cameron, and he is fouled.
This looks like a completely different team from what we saw in the first half.
Still trying to climb out of that hole as the fouls on Day Hall.
That's his first of the game.
Simmons and Morris return to the ACU lineup.
Team foul number 2.
Call that a cylinder foul where you have to let the pivot happen there from Cameron, and Hall commits that penalty. Jackson wide open on the inbound play.
Jason Jackson.
Great pitch up the middle there. Jason Jackson took a great look there. Easy cooking there on the inside.
Cackleries poked free from behind by Daniels. He's going to stay with the Jacks. So we're getting close to a very big milestone that's about to happen. Abilene Christian has not trailed at home at the under 12 media in the second half of any game in the Teague Center since they played last year. This will be the first time they've ever trailed with less than 12 minutes to go in a game, figuring they don't score 10 points in 70 seconds.
Another turnover. If there was any team I wouldn't be worried about having trailing to, it'd be this SFA team.
Daniels mid-range, that's no good. Cameron trying to put a tap back, that's no good.
3 SFA blockers on the inside there.
ACU shooting just 34% from the floor, 15% from 3. This is a tie-up. Arrow will stay with the Lumberjacks. I don't know if I've seen a game with more diving on the floor, more hustle, more of those types of plays for those 50-50 balls. Calvin Sullivan returning to the lineup for the Lumberjacks as they go bigger with Cackleries leaving. Sullivan guarded by Allen. Oh, got it poked free. That is a turnover. ACU takes it away.
Trying to find Kinsmill on the inside. ACU got a hand on it. Didn't see exactly who it was, but
Simmons, he is out of bounds, trying to go get it. Well, you saw the quickness of Jackson, but then he lost it there in the paint. Could not finish, and then, yep, Simmons out of bounds.
I'll tell you, the floor crew is working hard today.
And SFA playing so hard, which has been their, MO over the years as well. Abilene Christian usually the team that outworks you. And you could argue both of these teams are right out there here tonight with that effort. Jumper, Jackson Posey, no good.
These are two teams, no matter what, every time they face each other, it's just fun to watch.
Max effort from both sides. Morris, he slipped. Out of bounds, and a turnover.
A brutal slip there. You can see on the court kind of from the angle we're sitting at where he lost it.
Yeah, just a slip. No foul on Jocelyn, a good no call.
get right back up, go at it again.
10-point lead for the Jacks. That ball's poked free. Allen got a hand. Daniels does not have numbers. But Allen's there, and he's blocked free. Well, there was just nothing for ACU. Another block. Hall feeds. Kinsmill stripped, and it's out of bounds. Look at that turnover. We are up to 30 turnovers in the game. It's SFA by 10. Well, you got all these turnovers going on, right? ACU to SFA. SFA has turned it over 20 times. Look at the guys coming in for Abilene Christian. The career steals numbers. No wonder teams can't figure it out. These guys are unbelievable at taking the ball away.
At the top of that list, Damien Daniels, 135 steals. Is the most aggressive player I think I've ever seen play the game of basketball at a collegiate level. He goes out there, and if he can't get the ball from you, he's going to pry it out of your hands.
And you got Miller, a third-year Wildcat, Simmons, a junior, Mason, a third-year Wildcat. I mean, that's just, you do all that math. That's just a lot of guys who can create on that end of the floor. But SFA has also forced 10 Wildcat turnovers. And they lead it by 10, and really it's been just the sheer shooting performance. 55% shooting to 33% shooting. Sometimes that's all that matters in a game like this. And SFA's just made more shots. ACU's got it down 10. Steele had 5 early in the half. He's got a corner look at a 3. It is no good.
That ball wanted to, just would not go in.
Cacklery's lost it. The 21st SFA turnover. A one-handed pass. This is a big shot from Morris. No good.
Reggie Miller would not let that ball go there towards the end of the possession.
Hall nearly got an and one. No, it's a foul on the floor. A foul. It is not a shooting foul.
Foul call on number 20,
Foul on Corian Mason of ACU.
That's his second of the game. Team foul number 2. That foul was called in the
So an
act of shooting.
inbound coming, not a shooting foul. Surprised that's not a shooting foul. Oh, now yes it is. All right, they're putting Hall at the line. Changing it to shooting, and Day Hall's gonna put up a pair. You know, it's interesting. So Day Hall, he goes to East Tennessee State in January, at mid-year last year, finished out the spring, and then decides to transfer to SFA. First year Lumberjack.
You're seeing it all over college sports right now. People are really taking their collegiate careers into their own hands and really doing what makes them happy, and found himself on a very, very good basketball program.
Backdoor looking for Mason. This ball's out of bounds. Collision there between Mason and Kinsmill. Mason's a guy who's battled injuries almost, maybe not every game, but it feels like maybe every other game in his ACU career. He is a tough dude. Foul on the inbound pass here. I think it's on Solomon. Solomon's third personal. He is the only player tonight with more than 2 fouls. He's got 3.
It's his third of the game. Team foul number 3.
A lot of fouls this game to go with those turnovers.
Mason couldn't get the roll.
Just barely. I mean, that was momentum the whole way around the rim.
And those are just the shots that aren't falling, right, for ACU?
It's close shots. It's not really contested shots that aren't falling for the Wildcats. See right there, Corian had his lane, just did not go down for him.
So 2 free throws for Corian Mason, the senior out of Oklahoma City. Started at Ranger College. Phenomenal JUCO program. Came in 2019 to ACU in his first year, a team that would have been a 2 seed in the Southland tournament. And the tournament got wiped clean because of COVID-19. They come back a year later, win the tournament, and beat Texas in the first round of the NCAA tournament as a 14 seed. SFA knows what it's like to win NCAA tournament games. They've been as high of a seed as 12, and then were moments from the Sweet 16 5 or 6 years ago.
SFA, they just know how to win games. Not much to think about a couple years ago with Kentucky.
That's 10 seconds in the backcourt.
10-second violation call on the Lumberjacks.
Double team there from Simmons and company. Turns into the second 10-second call tonight on SFA.
ACU's just applying the pressure, same way that SFA was in the first half. I mean, that was a game of inches right there.
It's a 9-point deficit. ACU got as close as 8 at 40-32 here in the second half. Chance to cut it closer here. As we approach the halfway point of the second, 20 minutes. Thought Mason was going to pull the trigger.
He
10
wanted
to shoot it. Charge. Charge on Mason, taken by Nigel Hawkins.
Hawkins took the charge there. You can look at it either way you want. Did he take it? Did he not? But great effort from him to, whether or not, just good job getting the ball over.
Probably has more to do with the shoulder being lowered than it does with whether Hawkins was set or not. Daniels returns for ACU. Those turnovers continue to accumulate. We're up to 33 combined tonight. 22 for SFA and 11 for ACU. More backcourt pressure. Hawkins got it with 2 seconds to spare across the timeline.
Reggie Miller had a hand in there.
Solomon lost it. Backdoor. Oh, it's Hawkins on the reverse. Nigel Hawkins has had a remarkable night. 8 points, 3 boards.
Great pass to Hawkins, maximized that play there for SFA.
Back to an 11-point game, and then Morris is fouled by Latrell Jostle.
Jostle didn't look like he liked the call on that play. Back and forth these fouls go.
That's his second of the game. Team foul number 5. Entering the game for SFA,
9.5 to go.
Jonathan.
That's the 5th foul on SFA in the half. ACU's got 3 of them. Kemsmill takes a seat. Big number 2, Jonathan Aku, into the contest for SFA. Steele posting up. The baby hook no good. Cameron Steele is 2 for 6 shooting tonight. Solomon kept the pivot foot down. He attacks the rim. And the lead is a baker's dozen for SFA.
Having a timeout on that court we talked about. ACU matching their momentum here, but SFA's just keeping the game going, playing the way they know to play.
Foul on Aku. How about this play from Solomon? Oh, what a fake and take.
That's just speed right there. Good court awareness too on that last play.
10 to shoot it. Simmons open, that's a 3. Abilene Christian 2 for 16 from 3 tonight.
Looks like these shots will just not fall for the Wildcats. They're getting close, but not exactly getting the opportunity that they need.
Jostle mid-range, no. Ball's free. It's loose, it's a foul on Simmons as they try to get it to Aku.
How about that last shot from Jostle? Right after the shot, he got in there, got a hand on it, made sure that ball stayed in SFA possession by tipping it just a little bit more.
Entering for the Wildcats, number 20, Corian Mason. And also entering for ACU, Tobias Cameron.
Cackleries will inbound. Maybe. They got all the subs in, and now Cackleries the trigger. Oh, bad pass. Headed the ACU's way. That is turnover number 23 on SFA tonight.
Got 8 minutes and some change left here, Zach. 51-38. Low scoring game here, but maybe one of the best games I've seen all season.
Tobias Cameron, right hand on the left side. Back to an 11-point game.
SFA's making the shots, but every now and then ACU just reminds them, hey, we're still right here.
Foul on Cameron. Steele off the ball. Abilene Christian trailing it home. SFA up 11. Well, the last time Abilene Christian lost to SFA was actually the last game they played in the old Moody Coliseum. SFA won that game on March the 3rd of 2020, 77-72. A couple of weeks later, the pandemic hit. The Southland Conference tournament is shut down. ACU moves into this facility the next year with the renovations. They beat SFA a year ago. The last time ACU had a home loss was to these SFA Lumberjacks. And again, it was not in this building, but
What a game
interesting.
that was.
Yeah.
Great effort on both sides.
Feels like a lifetime ago, pre-pandemic, doesn't it? 51-40 SFA. They're out shooting ECU 56% to 32%. Sometimes it's just as simple as who's making shots. Josso lost it. And he's out of bounds. I mean, it's 24 turnovers, but it hasn't mattered. They still lead by 11 because of what their defense has done.
ACU is only shooting 32% this game. They've taken 11 less shots than SFA have. And it's been a defensive-minded game. We knew that going into this, but here we are late in the game, low score still. Fun matchup.
SFA had a largest lead of 17 tonight. ACU led 5-4, 5 minutes into the game. That's the only time, the last time they led. SFA's led for the majority of it. And this is bonus free throws now. That's the 7th foul on the Jacks, and so Miller to the line and subs for both teams.
Also entering for ECU, Arion Simmons.
Talked about the turnovers. There's been a lot of fouls this game from SFA. Still one of those deals where ACU's just not getting the shots off.
1-1 for Miller. Reggie Miller is this season a 64% free throw shooting team. ACU 128th in the country in that category. Miller was the Southland Conference All-Defensive Team member a year ago. All-Tournament team member, splits a pair here. And the unquestioned leader of this team last few seasons. 7 minutes left in a 10-point contest. It was a 12-point game in the break. Backside catch, it's Jackson Posey. Late shot clock. 1 second, Solomon, did he get it off in time? No, he didn't. Shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation on the Lumberjacks. It'll be ACU ball.
Clock management has not been SFA's friend this half. Second shot clock violation.
Couple of 10-second calls too. Backdoor cut, Miller. Simmons trying to break free. One-on-one, charge. Offensive foul on Arion Simmons.
Do not like the reaction here. Obviously, you can hear.
Brett Tanner yelling for a flop. Offensive or defensive? You tell me. Tough to tell from that angle. Kinsmill took it. 10-point game. SFA's got it. Off the glass, no good. Jackson Posey.
Interesting shot there. Had no real arc to it.
Daniels nearly came up without the ball and then somehow banks that in. It is an 8-point game now. It's the closest ACU has been in the second half.
Flop or not, Damien Daniels says, hey, give me the ball. Let me get up in there and let's get that point back.
4 points, 4 big ones for Daniels. 8-point game. Crowd comes alive. Jackson Posey, big three. Oh! Jalen Jackson Posey answers with a triple.
Cold shot there from Jackson Posey. Crowd silencer. See how the Wildcats can respond.
Simmons spinning, floating, charge. Another offensive foul, and I think a technical foul has just been issued to Brett Tanner of Abilene Christian.
Brett Tanner, he's a floor general. He's going to be out there yelling at his guys, but he's also going to let you know when you don't make a call that he likes.
Offensive foul on Simmons, and then the technical issued to the ACU bench.
We also have a technical called on head coach Brett Tanner.
So the tech on Tanner. And so free throws will be coming here for SFA. With 5:16 left, they'll put David Cackleries at the line. Here's the call on Simmons.
Shooting the technical shots for the SFA, number 4, David Cackleries.
Call that charge, and then the festivities on the sideline.
You probably still hear the fans still not happy at all about that call.
So it's Cackleries at the line. Senior out of Pennsylvania, and he misses the first.
I don't know which one was louder, Cameron Steele's 3 earlier or that missed free throw.
Trying to put it back at 12, and Cackleries no good on both. Now they're going to get the ball. The possession remains with SFA after the offensive foul on Simmons. So the Tech free throws are no good. And now in an 11-point game, it's SFA ball. We're going to probably see backcourt pressure from ACU the remainder of the night.
We can't go without mentioning Latrell Jostles back in the game for SFA. Amazing offensive presence for them. Good defensive presence too, though.
The press is on. SFA breaks it. Errant pass, stolen away, Morris. But the questions haven't been answered at this end of the floor for Abilene Christian. Morris, tough shot.
Good hook shot, kind of half hook there from Mackay.
9-point game. ACU's gotten it within 8 twice in the second half. SFA's had responses each time. It's a 9-point difference. 4.5 to go. What a night between these two rivals. Cackleries, short. Late shot clock. Big possession, perhaps the biggest of the game. Tend to shoot it, Miller draws a foul on Cackleries.
Foul called on number 4, David Cackleries.
This will be bonus free throws, 1 and 1 for Miller. Chance to cut it closer than 9 as Hall returns to the SFA lineup. And there you see Coach Brett Tanner talking to the officials.
These are big free throws here.
ACU 9 out of 12 at the line. SFA just 3 out of 6. Free throw for Miller, he'll get another. Came into the game with over 220 assists, over 110 steals in his career. Free throws are big right there. This is the closest Abilene Christian has been since the first half.
See Damien Daniels over on the bench getting the crowd up and going. This is why people love college basketball, Zach.
Mid-major greatness right here on display. 10 to shoot for the Jacks. Kinsmill's been the guy. Might have got poked. It's Jostle. No. And the rebound is on SFA. Well, and then a foul. It's a foul. Oh, it's a double tech. I think it's a double technical foul. We got a lot to sort out. We're heading to a timeout. When we come back, we'll sort out the mess. It's a 7-point game in Abilene, Texas. Don't go anywhere. Well, we'll see if we can sort all of this out. We know that they had called a personal foul on Day Hall of SFA, and then there was extracurriculars afterwards. So here's the foul. Then there's that, a push. Morris, did he say something then? And I believe it's technical fouls on both sides. We have not gotten an official word yet because the officials are reviewing the play at the table. So they're talking about it and talking to both coaching staffs as well.
And this whole
we know for sure it's a foul on Hall, then it's whatever happened after.
And this whole time, you can't help but mention Gavin Kinsmill. He's standing there holding his eye. Something hit him in the eye at some point. There's so much going on in this one play.
So the officials are still talking and still reviewing at the table. A lot to sort out. Meanwhile, the score, Abilene Christian is as close as they've been since the first half. Trailing 54 to 47. Let's take another look at what happened. That was the poke in the eye that you saw Kinsmill. Then there's the foul. And the official then tries to sort this out. You see Allen pull away Morris. And it looked like, from what our vantage point, it looked like they had teed up both of them. But they are, so the initial foul on Day Hall stands.
We also had technical fouls called on both teams.
And both teams are going to be assessed with a tech.
And the technical foul on the Wildcats was called on number 12.
Okay, so we got it sorted out. Hall's going to be called for the foul, the personal foul. Then he's called for the technical foul. Makai Morris is also called for a technical foul for Abilene Christian. So they tee up both guys. And for Hall, he, with the tech, now has 4. And they're still talking to the table. This is just crazy.
And with Hall having 4, you got to be careful. Big block machine, good defensive player for SFA. He gets one more. They're without a big part of their defense coming off the bench.
Meanwhile, I'm all for replay. But now when it takes this long, I'm not a fan of that. You got a lot of guys standing around. And now they're talking to the table to try to sort that out. I mean, this is a mess.
Meanwhile, you've got fans that haven't sat down in 25 minutes.
Because again, you got ECU's close. This is the closest they've been since the first half, trailing by 7.
A lot of bad blood out on that court.
And so then you got The official trying to tell the teams to go back to their benches, and there you see that graphic poke out. 11-game winning streak is the third longest in the country. You got Baylor, who's won 14 in a row, 20 going back to last year's NCAA tournament. USC has won 12 straight. ACU's won 11 in a row.
I would say, numbers aside, Zach, there's more pride on the line here between these two teams.
Well, while we have a minute, here's what's coming up for SFA. A rescheduled game because of COVID. They're playing Tuesday against UTRGV. The game that was postponed, they will play at Tarleton on Saturday first. They got RGV, then they're at Sam Houston for that rivalry game on the 15th, a week from Saturday. Lamar and Grand Canyon as well. And then for ACU, they will be hosting Sam Houston, another rivalry game Saturday night here on Plus at Grand Canyon and at New Mexico State next week. Very tough road trip in this league before coming back for Seattle U. That will also be teamed with California Baptist.
Scary, scary upcoming schedule for the Wildcats.
Each night and night out is going to be tough in this incredible Western Athletic Conference. Meanwhile, there was a game that was supposed to happen in Nacogdoches tonight between the women's games of these two schools, and that game got canceled due to COVID-19, or postponed, I should say, due to COVID-19 as well. WACsports.com, ACUsports.com, SFAJax.com. That's where you find all this craziness, social media as well, to keep up with all of it.
You also find it on the court.
Yeah, no kidding. Boy, here we go, because you got Emmanuel Allen who's going to shoot free throws. After all of that got sorted out, you got the technical fouls on each side. Allen is at the line because of the foul on Hall on the rebound attempt. So a chance with the clock stopped for ACU to get closer. There are 9 fouls on SFA, so this is still regular one-on-one bonus. A second free throw coming for Allen. And he's no good on the second, but with 3.5 to go, it is a 2-possession game, 6-point difference. Cackle runs point as we go down to the wire. Kinsmell backdoor. It is a contested shot. Hawkins, no good.
How did he get that shot off, Zach?
A lot of traffic in there. Morris on the attack. He's got it and one.
Gavin Kinsmell does not like the call.
A major finish from Morris.
The foul called on number 1.
Magic midair.
At the line, shooting and one for ACU.
He's got a chance to cut this to 3.
Morris.
No good. Oh, violation. He'll shoot another one. It's a violation on Solomon for coming into the lane too soon. So Morris will get a second chance at this and one free throw.
And right before that shot, Cameron Steele was pointing at him saying, watch him, to the referee.
Oh, he took advantage of the second opportunity. He's got a baker's dozen, 13 for Morris. It's a 3-point game. Listen to these fans.
ACU outscoring SFA by 9 in this half alone.
And a foul. It is on Morris, defending Hawkins. That is foul number 9 on ACU. So this is a 1-and-1 coming for Nigel Hawkins, the UTEP transfer. Second year with SFA.
Shooting to Nigel Hawkins.
Hawkins has had himself a really nice night. He's now got double figures, 10 points, his 10th double-digit game with SFA. 10 points and 5 boards with a couple of assists as well. Back to a 5-point game. Miller rather. Contact, 15 to shoot it.
SFA needs to be careful. They're playing aggressive.
Cameron picked off. Cackleries. The other end. Jostle's fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Right there towards the end of the shot, Steele got an arm in on him.
That's a big moment there defensively for the Jacks to then turn it into free throws at the other end, but Jostle still down. Good to see him up.
That's just what happens when you give it your all right there.
And he got poked at the other end when he was on defense, him colliding with Miller, and so now Jostle's at the line for 2. Played in 9 games at Kansas a year ago. Committed to Kansas and went to the Jayhawks after an injury-shortened senior year of high school. Now comes over in the first year with SFA. Dangerous player. Good shooter. He's got 7 points. He's at the line for the first time tonight.
He's a great shot, Zach.
Hasn't been at the foul line a ton, but he is an 85% free throw shooter. And he pushes the lead back to 7 for the Jacks. 2.5 to go. Big possession right here. Miller, charge! Taken by Kinsmill. He's taken a million of them. Another offensive foul.
See Kinsmill get up, shake his head. Another day in the office.
That is ACU's 15th turnover. SFA's got 26 of them. And a timeout on the floor. Right call to me. What do you think, Coy?
He took it, and he took it like a man. Great play from Kinsmill. We've seen him take, feels like 1,000 today, but nevertheless, he gets it every time.
So ACU cut it to 3 at 54-51. SFA 4 in a row with the free throws. They have not had a field goal in the last 3 minutes, but they are looking to try to close it out. And if they do, it'd be their first WAC win. They're playing in their first ever WAC game. There's been a lot of cancellations and postponements due to COVID-19 and this recent surge that's taken place. ACU off to a 2-0 start with Sam Houston. Those two teams collide Saturday night here on ESPN+. With SFA trying to get a big early season win here in early January. Full court pressure from ACU. Not an extra press, just full court man-to-man. 2 minutes remain in a 7-point contest. Solomon was open at the top. They get it to Kinsmill. Charge. Morris takes a charge. Kinsmill with the offensive foul. That is his second personal. He's got 11 points and 6 rebounds tonight.
Take a charge, give a charge. A lot of fun out in West Texas tonight.
Back door, it's Miller. Layups, got it. 5-point difference. That backdoor cut has been there. That feels like the first time they've had a clean look at a layup off the back door.
Miller found the opening and took it.
Hawkins.
Not a mistake SFA is going to make twice, though.
Corner 3, yes! Oh, a huge shot for Jostle. A minute and a half left. We still got a long way to go, but that pushes it back to 8. Jostle's got 11 points.
Pitch over. A lot of good ball movement. We've seen it all day. Wide open shot. 8-point game all over again.
61-53. ACU got it as close as 3 as we mentioned. But SFA has had the response every single time. Impressive from these Lumberjacks.
ACU's just had a hard time to make up for that first half. It's been hard, and they're playing with all their heart. You can see that, but SFA is just a matchup that they are in for today.
Abilene Christian will have it with 1:28 left. Not really in a hurry, but down 8. They don't have to take a 3 here. They need to get a good look. However, ACU's just 2 of 16 from 3 tonight, so there hasn't been a lot of clean opportunities there.
Great clock management there, rolling the ball.
Cameron drives. Mason's got a free release. Timeout.
Timeout, ACU.
ACU's got 1 timeout left.
Great job responding there by the Wildcats.
1:16 to go.
They found their stroke. They've got it. They've just got to get in there and get the points now.
Now you figure with a 30-second shot clock down by 6, is there enough time left to play out a full defensive possession and try to get a stop? That gets dicey because if you run down 30 off of this, you're only talking about 1:40, or you're only talking about 45 seconds to go. I'll be interested to see if they play it out or if they foul.
This is where, as a coach, you're going to make your pay. You've got clock management here. This is something you have to be good at. We know Brett Tanner can do it. It's going to be interesting to see here, coming up close, just 6 points. 2-possession game.
Do you play out a full possession, and then if SFA hits it, that's kind of the ball game, or do you foul and play that game, or you just put on the full court press and see what happens? Might be what they do. Kinsmill, oh, they broke that easily with Cackleries. Not fouling, tight defense. Hawkins drives. 1 minute to go. ACU's going to play out the possession defensively.
I like this move here, not overcomplicating it.
Jostle, it was altered by Mason.
Corian Mason.
Pass up ahead, Mason will finish and 1. Oh, we're far from over.
And 1, Corian Mason.
So not only did they get the stop, they got the clear out and a chance to not use much more clock here, and Mason can cut it to 3 with a free throw.
Zach, would you say they made the right choice?
I think so. I think it worked out wonderfully. Big free throw to cut it to 3. 41 seconds. Three-point game. Now they can play out another 30 seconds.
I don't think they're going to play out 30 seconds. They want that ball, Zach.
That is a blocking foul on Miller.
Kinsmill's down on the other side of the court. Looks like he's favoring his knee after that one.
Yeah, he's in some pain. What say you? Is this a foul or not?
I hate to be the judge of things, but I would have to give that one the charge there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's on the fence.
Miller, was he moving? That's interesting. Kinsmill is favoring that leg. He's not happy. Is Miller moving here? Watch right here. Is Miller moving? Oh, that's awfully close. Free throws for Kinsmill with 32 seconds. No good.
32 seconds left in this game. I like this momentum chance here.
Kinsmill's just a 61% free throw shooter. No! Down to the wire we go.
This is the game right here.
Plenty of time. Cameron, he'll go. Off the glass, no, and they tie up. The arrow stays with ACU. No shot clock. 17.8. Cameron tried to go and draw contact, and then he missed the shot. Look at this, he wanted contact, and then he missed it, but then the all-important jump ball. 17.8, that's still time to go get a bucket and then commit the foul. Or do they go settle for a three? ACU has made just 2 threes. They're 2 for 16 tonight.
With that last free throw, show me if you're going out and trying to get the foul, try to make sure that David Kinsmore has the ball in his hands. If you're going for anyone on that SFA team, you've got to maximize right now. And you've got to wonder about who Brett Tanner's going to send back out on that court here in this opportunity.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if they draw up a play to try to get a three here, if they go for the quick 2.
Got a lot of guys that can get that 3 off. It's going to be interesting to see here. 3-point game, 17 seconds and some change.
Well, on the line, as we mentioned throughout the night, this 11-game winning streak, the 3rd longest in Division I men's hoops. ACU on offense.
17 seconds is a lot of time.
It is. And if they can drop something quick to get a 2, then they could do the foul situation. And then force free throws for SFA. SFA tonight at the line is 7 out of 12, but it might not come to that. ACU may be attempting a 3. We'll see what they look for on this possession out of the timeout.
We gotta talk about Damien Daniels. 33 minutes in this game for him.
Inbound to Morris. He'll go quickly. The take, no good. Solomon clears. Cackleries, oh, the foul committed before he could get it to Kinsmill. Morris could not convert inside. Free throws here for the Jacks to try to put a lot of pressure on ACU with 10 seconds left.
Take a look at the shot here. Same thing we've seen all day. Those shots were just not falling.
Yeah, ACU 38% shooting tonight.
And it didn't matter if it was beyond the arc, in the paint, mid-range. It was not falling for ACU.
Big free throws for David Cackleries. Big first one to go up 4. He's a 74% free throw shooter. These are 2 teams that aren't great at free throw shooting. SFA 66% as a team.
He got the first one. That was the most important.
Second one's no good. 4-point game. Mason will launch a 3. That's short. 3 seconds and a foul, and SFA trying to put it on ice and be the first team on the road to come into the Teague Center and beat ACU.
What a game it's been, both sides.
Spectacular between these two every single time. David Kinsmill to the line. 11 points.
At the line, shooting the second of 2.
7 boards, right at his average there. Pushes it to 6 with 3.5 seconds as SFA is going to come on the road and beat Abilene Christian. It is a final score of SFA 64 and ACU 58. What a win for these Lumberjacks on the road.
Zach, that was fun. That was fun as can be. SFA came into a place where the home team was undefeated, and they came in and won. They dominated for 40 minutes. late in the game there, they were losing their momentum, but they kept it. They kept reminding ACU, hey, we're still here. We're not out of it completely. A lot of calls went their way, some could say, but nevertheless, they made the shots they needed to make, and they made the plays that they needed to make. Nigel
Hawkins is our player of the game. And we'll see if we can get Hawkins to join us after this game. As these SFA Lumberjacks not only win their first WAC game, but they play their first WAC game tonight. Just a spectacular win for SFA after 19 days off.
And what a way to start your history in the WAC.
No kidding. What a great way to get a win. And Nigel Hawkins is going to make his way over as the junior from Houston gets a win for these Lumberjacks. Nigel Hawkins, our player of the game tonight. And well, congratulations to you on the victory to come on the road here to ACU after 19 days of not playing a game. First of all, how'd it feel to get back out there on the floor?
Man, it felt amazing. You know, we haven't played in 3 weeks, so the hardest thing is just being ready to play and just getting better every day in practice and knowing that you don't have a game, so that it's really tough, but it was so fun to be back.
Yeah, not only to be back, but to play a really good team in a really tough environment like this.
Yeah.
How sweet is this victory here tonight?
You know, hey, every game counts the same, but we know it's a very good team, and just to start conference off with a win is great on the road.
Well, you know how good Abilene Christian is defensively, how good you guys can be defensively.
Yeah.
You guys really turned it up there. What did you see from your defense here tonight?
You know, a lot of connectivity, having another teammate's back, so as long as we're locked in and focused, tough to beat.
When it's late in a game like that and you see a home team go on a run and they get right back in it, it's a 3-point game, it's a 4-point game late, you have to make some big shots and get some stops. How do you feel about the way your team came together late in this ball game?
We did a good job. We can definitely get better, but every good game is going to come to one possession, so got to make free throws and box out and give teams just one shot, so it was fun.
Well, like a lot of people know how good David Kidsmill is in the paint. Boy, what a warrior he was for you out there tonight. What'd you see from the big guy?
Hey, he gives us he's our protector, so defense, offense, he's just a bulldog.
How big can this one be to then build some momentum as you move forward the rest of the way here?
You know, really good. Just one game at a time. Everybody says that, but so good to win on the road and start off WAC play.
Well, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us
okay,
here at the end of the game. That is
what up, Mom?
Nigel Hawkins as ACU and SFA play a really good one here tonight. SFA 64 and ACU 58. It's been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Coy Oslin, Joseph Chapa, the whole crew led by Hutton Harris. We're saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.